Brief DVM's coming at you today, and today I thought we'd can up some beets. We got a lot of beets from the garden. Took one of our big roasters here and went out to the garden, and we filled it up with some beets. They look really good, as you can see there. They just have the tops cut off and they've been pulled, and just kind of rinse them off is all we're going to do, and then we're going to throw them in here and we're going to cook them for an hour on high boiling water heat, and then that'll loosen up these skins. We'll get these skins off these beets. And once we get these skins off these beets, then we'll slice them up. We'll put them into our jars and we'll pressure cook them. We're going to pressure cook at about 10 psi. So I'm going to show you how the process works for us. But the supplies needed: need one large pot to cook the beets in, and certainly you need a container of salt because we're going to do these in pints. We're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt to each pint. You need some lids and some rings. Just going to get them rinsed out here and dump this water a couple times. Then we'll fill it and we'll start boiling them. People ask us on occasion, why do we leave the tops and the stems on before we cook them? Yeah, I like the red color, I really do. And if you cut those beet tops off and those stems off, then when you go to cook them in the hot water for an hour or so, you're going to lose some color, which obviously is nutrition going down the drain. And then of course when you peel the skins off them and you put them in the jars, some people come back and reuse that water to get the nutrition back in. I tend to just use a nice hot fresh batch of boiling water to put back in the jars to process them with, but you can do it any way you please. I'm going to fill this jar about, say, half full with water, and then we're going to go outside on two big burners so we don't get the house so hot here on this summer day. And we're going to cook these for about an hour so that we can get the tops and the skins off them. While that pot over there is filling with water, we'll get our pressure canner going. I added 4 quarts of water to this large pressure canner cooker, which works perfect for what we're going to do. And I added 2 tablespoons of vinegar to it. That vinegar just helps keep the pressure cooker clean. It helps keep the glass jars and stuff in it clean. And then I put, as you can see, the little wobbler top here on. I put the 10 psi on. And that's what we need, obviously, for pressure cooking these jars. And of course, I checked my seal to make sure it's good and that my relief valve is all working so that everything works good when we want it to. So now that I have this set up and I've got the water and vinegar mix in it so that we can get things going, I'll just let this sit and we'll head out to get the beets cooking. So as you can see, I got the camping stove here out. Works the best, doesn't heat the house up as much for doing this big batch. Got a 20-pound propane tank on the back, and I got the beets here inside it. They're all ready to go in the water, and we're just basically going to nice slow cook these. We'll get the water to a boil, and then we'll turn it down to kind of like a very low roll boil, or maybe even a medium heat kind of temp, and we'll let these cook for about an hour. By then the skins and the ends and stuff will peel right off. We might have to do a little bit of cutting of those tops, and then we'll be able to put them into jars. So while we wait for the beets out there to cook up in the next hour or so, I took each pint jar and I added half a teaspoon of salt. We use pickling salt because it has no anti-caking agents in it. We don't like the anti-caking agents. We don't think they're good when you preserve. So we like just pure basic salt. So this is pickling salt. It's a half a teaspoon to each pint jar that's in here. And this gets us ready for when we want to add the beets and then the boiling water. When we add the boiling water, we'll probably stop about 1 inch from the top, otherwise the pressure cooker will just cook it out anyways. And then of course we have our ball lids here, which are BPA free, and we've got our rings all set, so we're in good shape. So we're just going to check on the beets here and see how they look. We're about 20 minutes into it. We've got a nice soft boil going. This is what we want. We don't want it hard, we don't want to beat the beets up, we just want them in nice hot water for about an hour. Just simmering and right on that edge of that soft boil on about medium heat. This is perfect. And about another, let's see, we're about 20-30 minutes into this, so about another 30 to 40 minutes, these skins and stuff will slide right off and we'll be able to start the actual canning process. Alright, so we just dumped out the beets here. They've been cooking for about an hour and probably 10 minutes by the time I got it all shut down and in the house. As you can see, the beets are steaming hot. We're going to slip the skins off of these. I'm going to show you what's left in the pot here. Yeah, there's a little dirt, but it ain't bad. But we're just going to get this all cleaned out. We're going to use the same pot to boil up some water so we can put it in the jars. Alright, so we got the beets here in some cool water so that I can work with them. This is the beet as it comes out of the pot there after it's been cooked an hour. As you can see, the stems, you know, just pop right off, and so do the little ends on the end. They just come right off, and if you rinse it off a little bit in the water, you're ready to can this beautiful beet, okay? So this is what we're going to slice up and put in the cans. Actually, maybe I'll dice them, but I wanted to show you this because we're going to go through and quick do all these, and then we'll get over to the canning process. So now we have a beautiful bowl of cooked beets. They'd be ready to eat if we wanted to salt them and eat them, but we're basically going to cut them up and stick them in these jars. Once we get them in the jars, we'll be ready to start the processing. So we're just going to dice them up like this and throw them into the jars. Alright, we got the jars here all set. There's a half a teaspoon of pickling salt with no anti-caking solution in the bottom. The beets are all cut up and put on the top. I'm going to fill them within about an inch of the top with hot boiling water. And then I'm going to take them over to the pressure cooker and I'm going to pressure cook them at 10 psi. Let's get this going. Alright, now we're ready to put our ball lids on, and then we'll put our rings on, and then we'll be ready to pressure cook these. So I have 6 cans in there right now, and I have the metal plate in the bottom, and then I've got these 6 to put in. So I'm going to add another plate to the top in this big canner, and I like to evenly space my cans. And you can put them in here to the point that they all touch, so you could add more cans if you needed to. But I don't like to do that. And then I'm going to pressure cook these. It's going to take a little bit to get it going, but I'll show you when it just starts steaming away and how to get it to the right bubbling point for me. Here we are pressure cooking on high heat right now. I'm just kind of waiting to get it to the point I want temperature wise. Then I'll start the 30-minute processing time. I'm waiting for the 10-pound PSI jiggler here to go off like this for about 10 to 15 seconds, about every 3 to 5 minutes. Then I know that I've got the proper pressure inside, and I'll start my timing for 30 minutes. There she goes. That was what we wanted to do, and we wanted to do that about maybe every 3 to 5 minutes at most. And that's relieving the pressure, so our 30-minute countdown has started already, and in about 27 minutes we'll have this thing done. Alright, we just opened up the pressure cooker, and the jars look great. We're going to take them out and set them down to cool, and basically we're ready to write the dates on these and store them for the next 6 to 12 months. Perfect canned beets. And here we are with 12 jars, all in pints, of pressure cooked beets. They're still bubbling a little bit, they're hot, but the lids are sealing down, and this will be the finished product. And that's how you pressure can beets. Thank you for watching, folks. If you'd like to see more videos on how we process and do things on the farm to keep ourselves through the winter food-wise, certainly like and subscribe to our channel. You'll also see some great farming and reef videos too. Thank you.